19. The drum stream is here with special guest, quickly, aka Graham Johnson from the land of Oregon. My name is Matthew Smith. I'm here in the land of Long Beach, home of Sublime, and we're gonna talk about drums. We're gonna talk about sounds. We're gonna talk about Graham's favorite donut in Portland. And when you can, Graham, if you can mute your Twitch so I don't hear my voice.
Oh yeah, what the fuck is that going on here?
I
There we
think.
go.
Okay, hell yeah. So
My bad.
now that we're here, let's blow this. And yeah, Graham, dude, what's up, man? What's good? How are you? How is Portland?
Portland's good. Just been chilling. We were talking. I had a little tax fiasco this morning. Um, so just trying to figure out my taxes. I'm a day late, so I'm preparing to pay that 5% interest.
Oof.
Um, which kind of blows. But Portland's been good. The weather's been nice. It was a little cold yesterday, but rained a little bit. But it's cool though, because get that nice petrichor smell, you know?
No, I don't. What's petrichor?
Oh man, you've been in LA too long, bro. It's
Yeah,
the it's that
100%.
it's this what I think the technical term for it is, well, the technical term is petrichor, but what it means is it's like, can you picture the really kind of earthy smell right as like it starts raining for the first time in a while?
100%. Yes.
Yeah, so that's petrichor. So
Oh,
it was we had that all day yesterday, which is really nice.
man, that's awesome. What's up
Yeah,
with
man.
the? I heard that some people that when they move from LA to Portland, they have to get pretty up on their sun vitamins.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you take
Yeah,
sun vitamins?
I don't actually. Definitely should be. Yeah, there's some crazy statistic, like a huge percentage. Like I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't really know the statistic, but it's something crazy like 60, 70, 80% of all people in Portland are vitamin D deficient.
Right.
Um, because summer is lovely here, but the winters just can be draining. Just like 6, 7 months of no sun. So I definitely need to get on my vitamin D shit. But I've been going outside a lot. Going to different parks and just kicking it, hanging out.
Heck yeah. Oh man, damn, we got homies in here. What up, Miles? Matt Zara's in the house.
Yes,
Jory.
sir. Yes, sir.
Dang, we all here. I remember, I was reminiscing on the first time that we kicked it, Graham, and Matt was there too, which is really tight. What
That's
a
right.
what a
Yeah.
ridiculous, like, I don't know. That was just one of those days you're just like, what the heck is happening? Like
Yeah.
like Matt plays bass? What? And like
I know.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, I can be a lot louder. Let me make sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
is my mic good? I'm just using my computer mic. Um,
yeah,
hopefully it's
your
not
your
too
your mic
shitty.
sounds good.
Okay,
Let
cool.
me I should make sure that everything is plugged in. Yeah, it's all here. Oh, and I gotta turn up number 5. So yeah, there we go. This is probably a lot better. Um,
Cool.
I had I had Rob over last week, and he like came with his whole PC, which is
Mm.
which is cool. But he's like, okay, yeah, let's make a beat, and then proceeded to like just like pretty much just like wipe my desk clean of everything so he could put all his shit up on my desk. And but in exchange, he said, "Yo, I'll just redo your desk for you." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, tight." So my desk is hella like clean, but all my mic inputs are not where they used to be, not where they used to be.
Yeah,
So
I used to have because I've I have a very meticulous setup in terms of like mic setup, inputs and outputs setup, and they're all labeled in Ableton and shit. And like about once a month, I have this stress dream where I come downstairs to make music and everything is like out of place, like all the inputs are wrong and like everything is just fucked around. Um, and then I come down here and it's all it's all good. But yeah, I feel that it's stressful.
Yeah, cable management dreams and
Dude,
broken white key
yeah,
dreams.
yeah, literally. Yeah, me and my roommate Elliot, came down here like a month ago. Um, and like pretty, so I have this mic that I use for vocals. It's called a Peluso 2247 SE. Some fucking like crazy like German. I don't even know. It's like some. It's basically a Norman clone. But for the first month or so that I had it, it was there was this crazy like super high frequency buzz, um, that I just couldn't get rid of, and it wasn't really like you could EQ it out, but it was really just it was almost like a mental block. Like it stopped me from using this mic, and I was really stressed about it for a while. And so that one little buzz led me to get an entirely new interface. I got a fucking like a power line converter or whatever to get clean power. And it also led me and my roommate to like a month or so ago, we unplugged everything from the desk, took everything off, and just did a completely new revamp and tried to get it as clean as possible.
Oh man.
Which took literally like 6 hours to do. But we fixed the buzz, got everything set up, and now we're rocking and rolling.
Did you figure out what the buzz was coming from, or was it just you're glad it's gone and don't care where it
It
came
was,
from?
yeah, I mean, a little bit of both, honestly. I think it had something to do with my interface. It was like the inputs were jacked around, which is weird because it works with every other mic. It was like this mic has like a little power supply, like a little tube power
Mm-hmm.
supply.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was just a whole combination of shit, but we got it figured out, so it's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Hasn't It hasn't come back.
No one wants any buzz except when they want to get a
No,
buzz, you
fuck
know.
that.
But
Exactly. No buzz. Unless it's snare buzz. I can fuck with some snare buzz.
man, who doesn't fuck with snare buzz though? Because I'm always a little
Yeah.
self-conscious about snare buzz. If you're like, if you're in the stew and you're like hitting your rack tom, and it's like, man, you know, I'm not sure if that should be there. Sometimes you want to flip it off, but then no, keep it on. Say what up to snare
Exactly.
buzz in the
Yeah.
chat, y'all.
Yeah. Give a shout out. Give a shout out to the old snare buzz.
Yeah,
I
everyone.
saw my friend put me onto this plugin, which I don't really have a use for because I have a snare that buzzes in my room, but it's this plugin that simulates snare buzz. You can put it on like a
Oh, the
um
Waves plugin, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think
And
that's
it
free.
like simulates that kind of room yeah, the room sound like with the buzz in the background. Yeah, and at first I was kind of like, why would you ever want that or want to have that in your recording? But I get it. It can be cool for like live elements,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
adding
you
that.
can position the mic like farther away, and like I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty. That algorithm is pretty insane. But
it is. I just like I have no idea how people make shit like that.
or think
To
about it. Let's make a snare buzz plugin, so that you can get the
Yeah,
little
literally.
artifacts of your snare that you don't mic
Insane.
up yourself.
Yeah, craziness.
um.
But
Well, dang.
but yeah, shout out to those.
Shout out to Snare Buzz, everybody. Go get it. It's free, also, from what I remember.
True,
Um,
very true.
we got a couple people in the chat. Emperos,
Yep.
Meltolitzer. Heck yeah! If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for cruising in. About to put Snare Buzz on my guitars. Yeah.
Might as well. Fuck it.
Yo, speaking of guitars, bro, I saw that you got like a little sitar guitar.
Yeah, you. Hold up. Let
So
me grab it real quick.
yeah, cause I'm intrigued on what the heck that is.
Yeah, this fucking thing.
Bro, so like tell me about this real quick.
It's so there's this shop in Portland that I really like called Centaur Guitar. And it's just like this, like the cool thing about Portland is there's kind of like these weird, and I'm sure these are in LA too. I just wasn't in the market at the time, but they have a bunch of these weird little like niche stores. Like there's this really sick drum shop called Revival that is
Mm-hmm.
like there's two drum shops. Like there's Rhythm Traders, which is more new stuff, and then Revival is like all vintage drum gear. Same shit with the guitar shops. Like there's a couple that just sell new stuff, you know, and then there's a couple like uh this one called Paradise Guitars that I've gotten yeah, pretty sick name that I got my other guitar at. But this one I got at this place called Centaur Guitar, which is similar shit. It's just like a bunch of vintage gear, like a lot of weird boutique guitars and like funky Japanese one-offs and shit like that. But yeah, this was just there. This is like a new thing. It's I don't know if you can see it, Dan Electro.
Okay.
Um, it's called Sitar Junior. Weighs about 3 pounds, maybe. It's like extremely light.
Is it hollow?
Um, but yeah, it's funny because it's literally just a cheap plastic guitar at its core. But this bridge right here, um, it's a special type of bridge, and it basically just pushes the strings up against like this plastic piece right here. Yeah, it does
Oh,
look like Squidward. That's very true.
Squidward
Uh,
vibe.
but yeah, all it does is it just pushes the strings on the plastic so they resonate in like a funky way. So it sounds like a sitar, you know,
Yeah.
but it's just tuned to like guitar tuning, you know,
Sure.
standard tuning. Um, I literally got this um because of the song Pink Purple Blues by Heather with that. Yeah, you already know
Shout
that
out
that was,
Heather, dude.
I
Hell
know,
yeah.
fucking shout out. He's your homie, huh?
Shout out Paul.
Paul?
Yeah. 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 Paul's
Yeah,
the homie, dude.
I've been obsessed with this shit for a while. And that when I saw this in the shop and like started playing it for a sec, I was like, oh man, I'm about to get those sexy sitar leads.
Those surf in India vibes for sure.
Literally, yeah.
Heck yeah. Man, is it a cheap guitar? Relatively
Um,
speaking?
it was about I think it was $600. So for a guitar, not too bad. It
Yeah.
was definitely like something that it was certainly 110% in impulse buy. Like I don't ever need this in my life. Like I probably it's just a very like one trick pony, you know,
Right.
two knobs like volume and tone, like it just does one thing. Um, but if you're looking for a sitar and you don't want to spend 2 grand on like a real fucking the real Ravi Shankar type sitar,
Or have to string one.
yeah, right, or like learn the tunings or whatever, you could just bust this out and it sounds good enough, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Can you bend and do like the ornamentation? Or is it
yeah, sort of like I'm not good at it bending at all, but
wow. Yeah, that sounds cool.
you know what you could bend to your heart's delight probably if you
Right.
want to, but
You put
not
really
quite there
really
yet.
thin strings on there or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the action is pretty low too, so it's I don't know if that's good or bad for bending, but that's just what it is. That's the thing. It's like one thing that you should know about me is that when it comes to the technical terms for stuff, I pretty much don't know anything about what it like. Like I know about high and low action, don't know what the benefits are of either, other than that low action seems to be easier to play. Um, but yeah, I'm in the pursuit of tone.
Yeah.
And yes, Matt, I have one of the guitar bows, the Ebo. My roommate has one. Those things are fucking sick.
Do those actually sound? I've seen a couple of dudes play those things, and they sound pretty good if you play them right.
They're cool. Yeah. It's such a sick idea because it's literally just like I think it's like magnetized and it just you put it on one of the strings and it just oh, I don't have a tiny violin bow. I don't have one of those. That sounds insane.
Yeah, I've seen this guitar player. His name is Marcus Eaton, and he's I don't know. Maybe he's just like on my feet all the time, but like he plays one, and it's kind of insane. It sounds
Yeah.
like a string. He's like playing like violin concertos and stuff. I don't understand how you could like take it out and then like switch it into the string and then put it out and then put it into the string again. I don't get it, but
Yeah, that's a crazy like
some
crossover
sorcery.
too. Like imagine I feel like it's they're built for a very specific breed of people, somebody who is able to play violin and also play guitar, because you got to learn, like, I don't know.
Gotta know the sound, I guess.
Also, Elliot Cleverton in the chat. That is my good friend and roommate.
Elliot,
What's up?
you can hit the wall and
Oh,
and
so ours isn't even an Ebo. It's a sound stone, I guess.
oh,
Yeah,
it's like
you
a
can.
resonator or something that like you put on the
I guess
string and it
so.
makes sound.
Yeah. You Elliot was saying that Bon Iver used to use it a lot. Um, on like forever ago. Uh, yeah, it's just like a cool. It creates like this crazy like distortion kind of sound, even
Mm-hmm.
if there's no distortion. Yeah, because it's just like the strings like beating up against each other.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's bitchin'.
pretty tight. Yeah.
Shout out to the Ebos.
Shout out to the Sound Stones.
It's in the Soundstones. Well, hey y'all, let's do this a quick one. There's not much going on, but we're gonna go right to the drum news.
Yes, sir.
Yo, drum news, everybody.
Drum news.
Something that happened in the drum world this week that definitely wouldn't have happened last year was that the Chicago Drum Show happened. If you're guys are in Chicago or near Chicago and we're there, leave us a little comment. But one of the biggest drum shows of the Midwest happened. So wow, sense of normalcy again. Very happy about that. I don't know why I always find these things, but Vic Firth came out with a new line of drum pads. I think they're just copycatting on Zildjian, who just came out with a new line of drum pads. it's some whack yet effective practice, y'all. If you guys are drummers, practice on the pad, but also just hit the drums. They're way better than your pads in any way. Oh man, and then probably the biggest drum news of the day is that Graham got a authentic U47 Neumann FET, and he got a Electro Voice RE10 that we're gonna talk about right now. Do you have it with you?
I do. Yeah, hold up. Let me. It's right here.
Pro drum companies want to fight so bad. Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, show us this
here,
mic.
here it is in all its glory. I'm not gonna grab the RE10 because it's a little bit deep over there. But yeah, here it is, the Neumann U47 FET. It's got a nice little gyroscopic thing there. You know what I mean?
You
know
chucking that on the kick?
like that. Throwing on the kick, yeah. Just did a test run of it last night. It sounds just fucking insane.
What are you running it through? Like your interface, just like a UAD or?
I have a Focusrite 18920 and a Scarlett Octo Pre as the ADAT extension. So
Got you.
so it's like I've been really meaning to get a preamp. That's kind of like I've been fucking spending money head over tails. So I'm kind of like about done with my spending money. But I really want to get a nice preamp so I can really just get the best drum sound. But yeah, dude, this mic is like unreal. Like so on Kick before this, as of before yesterday, I was using this AKG D12, which when I got it sounded amazing. I think it fell over a couple times. We have two cats who used to like to fuck around down in our studio a lot. So I think they tipped it over a couple times, and probably I did as well.
Yeah.
And the something in the, what is it, like the diaphragm or whatever got messed up. So it's been acting a little strange for a while now. So I figured that I might as well just upgrade. Yeah, they're super super fragile. I got it repaired. And even then, it still kind of sounded shitty. I'm gonna blame the cats, bro. I feel like I would come downstairs after not being here for a couple days, and it would just the D12 would just be on the ground, like face down. So, unless that was your doing or Omari's, maybe, I don't know. But
just trying to sabotage your kick sound.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I will say too, like one of our cats, not to put her on blast here, one of our cats used to have a bit of a pissing problem. Um,
Mm,
and I took all the resonant heads off my drums because I just like how they sound more. So there's no, I think that's what they're called, right? The resonant
yep,
heads.
yep, yep.
Yes. So there's no resonant head on the kick. It's just open. I have a pillow in there. And one day I came down here and the pillow is covered in, well, piss.
Mm,
And the cat had pissed in my kick drum. So maybe it adds the sound. I don't know. But
that's how you get that real stanky sound, dude.
yeah, right. The real pheromone sound. Um, but yeah, anyway, long story short, got a new mic. Sounds amazing. It's like the thickest low end. Like I'm sure some people in here have watched the Omari Jazz streams. Our other roommate, the fucking goat of all time. And if you've seen any of his streams, you know how well he can freak addictive drums, and he gets like these crazy ass kick sounds out of addictive drums.
Hmm.
This microphone sounds like, with no processing at all, it sounds like an addictive drums kick, like
Damn.
just fat and full, and like it's fucking crazy. Like I actually had to EQ some of the low end out, which I've never had to do before because it was so thick. I don't know. It's crazy though. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. I feel like and are you using what are you using the Electro Voice for? Is it like a snare mic or overhead?
Yeah, I'm using that as a snare mic.
Cool.
The mic I had before that is this weird boutique mic that I got at this random. I remember like a couple months ago, I went on this huge escapade and called every single music shop, pawn shop in Portland and Vancouver, Washington, which is like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from our house. Called every shop and basically was like, "What microphones do you guys have in stock?" And just wrote down all the ones that seemed to be of interest and then researched them. I was like, I'm gonna buy mics like today. And this random shop, that this guitar shop, actually, Paradise Guitar, they were like, yeah, like we don't really carry mics, but there's a studio below our shop that has these mics they don't really use anymore, so we sell them occasionally. And they had this crazy uh shotgun mic called the Violet Design Black Finger, and
Mm,
it's like this weird fucking. Let me see. I think it's right over here. Hold on.
the Black Finger.
Yeah.
Legend. Legend.
I have no idea where it is, but it's like this weird ass mic. It has this crazy. It just looks hella funky. I can't even describe it. It looks crazy, but yeah, and it basically just functions like a SM57 with a little bit more like range to it, so a little bit more highs, a little bit more lows. But the RE10, I think mine's from the 70s or something, just picked it up on Reverb. Uh, it sounds insane. It's like very crisp, very punchy. It was the mic that Elvis used to sing into. Um,
Interesting. Cool.
yeah, but it just looks like a snare mic. So I was like, might as well just. And Elliot has one as well, so I kind of got to try it out on snare first before I got one myself, and it sounds fucking really sick. So
Yeah, I have
yeah,
on good authority that I have a Electro Voice like notification on OfferUp. Anytime an Electro Voice mic pops up, I always gotta check that shit out because yeah, my
yep.
guy says anytime one of those mics if it's old comes up, just fucking snag it because they just made them better back then.
It's very true. Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
they wanted everything to last and no one
right.
wanted to get it repaired.
That's it's almost like a blessing and a curse though, because those old I think Electro Voice in particular, because like I actually bought an RE10 from a pawn shop like a while back, and it was non-functioning. Um, but I took it to my repair guy, and he was basically like, yeah, I'll run it through the test, like see if it works or not. But he was telling me that essentially with these really old EV mics, it's like they haven't made parts for them. Like it's not like I think Neumann and AKG and like a bunch of the big like main players, you can still find like vintage transistors or transformers or tubes or whatever the fuck you need for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the EV ones are extremely hard to outsource. So it's like pretty much if the mic is dead, it's just kind of dead, you know?
Damn.
So I'm hoping this one doesn't break on me, but for right now, it sounds fantastic.
Well, keep it in the case and don't let those cats get to it, and you should be okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that mic is just gonna sit underneath the snare just for till the end of time, I suppose.
Heck yeah. So maybe yeah, let's transfer into like so with the addition of your new U47, the RE10, what else is on your drums at the moment?
Um, don't know if you can see right there. We got a
Charcoal
stereo
silver.
pair, and this setup is kind of I need to measure it out a little bit more, find a better placement. But those are two Coles 4038 stereo pair microphones. There's the old kit. I don't know anything about drum sizing, but if you can tell, it's pretty fucking small. Um, which actually, so yeah, actually in terms of drum mics, just Coles 4038, RE10, right about there, and then the U47 will be there.
Whew.
But I was gonna say, I recently got this drum kit because I had this older one that I've had for a bunch of years. Got off Craigslist. It was just like some shitty like PDP starter kit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got this one at this shop in Portland called Revival because I remember the first time you came over to my crib in LA and you brought your tiny little kit and it
The
sounded
Gretsch.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gretsch. Yeah. So I was like, I gotta get a small guy.
Like just speaking on the drum side, like those 18s, like on a Gretsch, like you can get them down and sound them good. Like doesn't like the big 2022s, like they have their own, I don't know, part in the recording side, but when you're like working with just what you need, like, or what you have, and that's your thing, like it's the 18s go, because you can just put
Yeah,
like a
dude.
nice head on them. And I don't know what you're using on the back, but yeah, the Catalina Club is what I used. But I mean, especially with I used to rock the front head off, the Rezo head off too, all the time, just with like a pillow, and it's so much easier to mic. you know,
Yeah,
like
right.
you can get like fat attack. You can like throw it off I mean, out of the hole, in the hole, facing the shell, not facing I mean, like, and then it's just
Right.
so much easier to be like, no, I don't like that. I'm gonna try it again, rather than like, like I'm rocking like two. I have like a budget mic catching the low, and then I have like a
Mm-hmm.
Beta 52 on the inside. I do want to get
Those sound
the
good, dude.
D112. The beta's sounding good.
Yeah, I have a weird thing about D112s. I've My friend used to have one, and maybe it was just the way that we were recording with it, but I've just for some reason I've never liked how they sounded really that much. They sounded always like to me a little more kind of maybe like punky or like rock
Clicky,
and
like
rolly.
clickier. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit clickier, which obviously can be like you can EQ the shit out of that, and I'm sure it'll sound amazing either
Right.
way. Um, the mic that I was looking into before I decided to just Hail Mary it and go with the Neumann, the Audix D6 sounds pretty sick. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah.
Um, I've watched a ton of fucking drum mic shootouts, and that one's kind of always in there. Also, the EV RE20s are pretty cracked on
Oh,
kick as
bro.
well.
Yeah, I've had that on a kick. I've had the D112 on a kick, and I've heard people that I don't know if people are kind of sleeping on like SC Electronics, and they have like
I haven't even heard of
a
that.
whole pack. It's like I feel like it's like a $800 pack, like a drum mic pack, but for what it's worth, like the kick mic is good. I mean,
Yeah.
the overheads are fire. Um, I mean, they're not the Coles, they're not the Neumann, but what I like about the SE Electronics ones is you have like preset EQs. You have like a couple
Mm,
like knobs you can just press and kind of get your sound easier that way rather than obviously with the Neumann you can just like chuck it on there anywhere in the vicinity and get a good sound. But I don't know.
sure.
I guess people like being able to personalize their sound and stuff, and like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
on the rock gig, I'm gonna flip the rock knob, or I'm on the jazz. I don't know. That type of
Yeah,
shit
definitely.
intrigues me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's weird too because I don't really use I don't mic up my toms really, almost exclusively for the fact that I'm pretty much out of space in my interfaces. Um, because of we have a bunch of synths and just random shit that we're miking up as well.
Sure.
So I want to get like a bigger mixer to kind of supplement that, or maybe like a more ins on my interface. But yeah, so I don't really mic toms. So I'd never really used like a mic kit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
'Cause I feel like those always come with the little like
Little
they almost
clip-on
like
tom mics.
harmonica mics. Yeah, yeah, the tom mics.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen people use the 412s though, the Sennheiser 412s on toms, and those are really
those are
nice.
dope.
Those are
Those
like
are
four hundred
cool.
dollars, budget,
Yeah,
good
those are
budget mic.
sick.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. I mean, for most of the shit I've recorded up until this point, I just used what did I used the D12 on the kick for some of it, and then like SM57 on the snare. Sometimes I would just even turn it off, and then I have this Rode NTK that I would just do like a mono overhead, kind of like sitting somewhere in between the crash and the ride. So like,
Mm-hmm.
where am I? Somewhere like over here, maybe around in this area. Um, and I got some nasty drum sounds just out of that. It just kind of like depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, you can get like I remember somewhere reading or hearing an interview or something that Mac DeMarco recorded all of his drum sounds for Salad Days, which is like his big album, with one Audio Technica AT 2020,
Oh
which
damn.
like for those who know is like pretty much it was the first mic I ever bought, 70 $80 mic, like and those drum sounds are crazy. I think it's just the less mics you're working with, it's just about placement, like
And I
where
mean,
you
and the sound, like some people sleep on sound, like getting the right snare sound before you dial it in, and you know, this whole fix it and post thing with drums doesn't really go as far as it does everywhere else. Like
yeah,
you can't really pitch your kick, your live kick, much lower without losing a bunch of like artifacts and stuff or making it sound like
right.
ass. So
Yeah. And that's kind of why I started investing into better mics, because like my this kit, especially this new one, sounds really tight. I have like I really just like dead ass snares, like no ring,
mhm.
like dead toms. So everything's very dead and dry. Especially with the resonant heads taken out, it just
Whoa,
dries it up even more. Oh,
what
what
happened?
happened?
We're back.
We're back. We're back.
We're back,
Um,
y'all.
but but yeah, so I just like really dead sounds anyway. Um, but even then, like you can, I feel like just getting different mic setups just kind of eliminates like spending money on mics eliminates the need for me to really go insane in post, because I've done that so much, like with Radiator and all the Sound Toys plugins are really good for that shit, but it can kind of just like you ever process something so much, like you're trying to cut out all the annoying frequencies to the point where you just kind of ruin the sound of it,
Sure. That's usually when you just turn off all the
like
plugins. You're like, oh
that,
fuck, it sounds better anyway.
right, exactly, yeah. So that's what I was doing for a really long time, and I guess like having the really clean signal of the nice mics kind of eliminates the need to do that. Like I barely even throw EQ on my drums. um
It's
Literally
it's
just
really
like,
encouraging that you have that you're working with like Scarlett and Focusrite stuff, because like especially with the mics that you're rocking right now. I know you said you want to get like a nice pre. which will, certainly like improve the sound. But like I've heard a lot of people like kind of shit on like Focusrite and like Focusrite plus better mics, is like it's like there, some people would say like, well, you can't polish a turd, and I'm like, well, man, you just gotta work with what you got. But also like, you know, you buy that mic so it sounds good. You need,
Right.
like maybe that mic
And
going through a
that's kind of,
UAD would be sounding great too, but like, you know, it's one or the other
yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, I like, it's funny because I never was really able to tell the sound quality difference between like, yeah, like Universal or Scarlett or fucking, I don't even know. Like obviously once you start getting into the, like the 100 $200,000 Neve, like,
Right.
six ever made like 70s Neve consoles, obviously there's going to be a different sound there. But yeah, I just kind of like, it's just one of those things where it's like, if it sounds good enough to me right now, then I feel like I don't even need to worry about it, because once my ear hits that level to where it's like, okay, I'm hearing that I need to like get a new pre or like a new interface or whatever, then I'll look into putting in the money. And I only just recently was like, maybe I should get a pre for my vocals, because they just get a little bit of grit to them.
Yeah, some
um
crispiness or something.
but yeah, like, dude,
Those
every piece of
SSL mixers
percussion.
though are like you can get a lot of good out of the SSLs. Like even like a
Yeah,
duo
yeah.
duo mixer, like they have great pre's on them already and saturation.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking like, I don't know. Lately, I guess I just want more inputs, because it's just like always more and more shit that I'm trying to mic or new synths to hook up. So I'm just looking for more inputs. Someday I'm gonna get the Neve console. Someday.
Damn,
I'm manifesting
big
it now.
goals. Say it now.
Yeah, big goals, bro. Like, we'll have to. Yeah, I use the 18920 with the Scarlett Octo pre. So what is that? 16 inputs, which is a fucking lot of inputs, and we're still almost out.
Do you guys have like a one live room, or the room you're in right now? Is that your room and you have 16 pre's and Amari has his own shit, or is it you guys go on and like, yeah, this is probably super niche, but how does the house work? Like with as many musicians in
Um,
the house?
so yeah, so when we moved in, this room that I'm in right now was kind of like, it's this weird little, it's like a weird little oasis, because our basement is like really unfinished. But it's this weird little oasis room in the basement with this like crazy, like, you can't, it's hard to tell, but it's like this crazy bright red like carpet,
Mm,
kind of like sketchy looking carpet. We've got these weird like school, like they look like acid tab ceilings
right.
almost. Yeah. But but yeah, so we it's a sick room, and it's just a big rectangle. So our main criteria when we were moving in here was like, we want to find a house with a studio room. um we found this house, this nice ass room, and I think coming into this, I just had the most stuff. Like, you remember my spot in LA, like I
Right.
had the desk, the interface, all the shit, the monitors. So most, and it kind of just continued that way. So most of the stuff in this room is mine. I would say that the large majority of it, but there's also a lot of just random stuff here and there that's like Elliot and Omari's. Um, but when we first moved in, we were kind of all using the studio just as a, just a general place to kick it. And then Omari started doing Twitch a lot, so he created his own little setup in his room. Um, and so he has the Prophet Rev 2 um, in there, and like he just got a Minilog XD.
Oh, sick.
Um, yeah, really tight. So he just kind of does his own thing in there. Like, I don't think he ever really comes down here unless he's just trying to, like, we have a bunch of jams down here all the time, or like we'll just be kicking it or whatever. But but yeah, and then Elliot recently got his own little spot in his room, which is really sick. Got some synths up there, and like got a desk and some monitors. So lately, it's really just been me down here. This has kind of just turned into like my space, I guess. But it's, it's always, it's like a communal space as well. Like it's open to anybody at any time. But
Sure.
I definitely use it the most. Um,
It must be really cool to have access to all those sounds too and all those synths. Like, I mean, like living with three producers in one house. Like, I can just imagine like the amount of gear, like as when you like when you turn out for the loan for the house and you put like all your collateral down. You're just like, okay, Prophet, okay, Juno, okay,
yep.
Neumann.
Yeah, dude. It's it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff down here. But I'm kind of just like I spend a lot of money eating food out. I'm a terrible cook, probably top 10 worst cooks on the planet Earth. Um, so I spend a lot of money on that. And then the other amounts of money that I make go towards rent and gear. So like it's kind of been it's been a I mean this is I guess this is every musician's dream. But it's been a huge dream of mine to just have a fully cultivated studio with just like I want to get to the point, and I feel like I'm rapidly approaching this point to where like I don't ever need to go to an actual music studio to record anything ever
Mm-hmm.
again,
Yeah,
um because like
unless you're getting
you
paid.
know exactly, yeah, like I'm getting paid to work with all the shit that I know how to use. And I think there was like this interview with Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother, where he's
Mm-hmm.
like, he's like, because they do all their shit, like all the Billie Eilish stuff at their house, or they used to. And he was like, yeah, I don't really like music studios because you got to get the engineer in there, and then you spend like 2 hours just looking for like a sustain pedal for a MIDI keyboard. And then like once they find the sustain pedal, they don't have the stand for the MIDI keyboard. And it's just all this like little shit that eats up time that you're
Paying for.
essentially paying for.
Yeah.
And so here it's like I know where everything is. If something's not working, it's up to me to fix it because it's my gear. And like I've kind of just learned to be the my own engineer. So yeah, I this is just kind of my little like oasis down here. Um,
Love
just
it.
surrounded by shit that I've been dreaming of for
Hell yeah.
a long time.
Got a couple questions. How do you feel about the Wolf compressor?
I love Wolf compressor actually. I haven't yet grown out of it like I grew out of RC20. Um, that's a whole nother conversation though. But yeah, I think Wolf compressor is really awesome. I think it has a really recognizable sound, but you can use it in really unique ways to where it doesn't sound like you're using Wolf compressor. Um, I actually use it a lot on vocals, which might sound insane, but yeah, I think it's really cool. I just hate the tone of the like the hiss. So I always
The
turn that
noise,
shit
right?
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it sounds really digital, which obviously it's a digital plugin. But yeah, I think it's really fucking cool. Um it's really sick. Great plugin.
Man, why don't we since we're talking about vocals so much, this is the year of Graham coming out as his like full-fledged vocalist with your new single Feel. As I was preparing for the interview here, like I felt I was listening to all your the Over Skies EP and that the pink one, which I don't remember the name for. I'm bad. Should have wrote it down.
You're good. No.
And yeah, there's some oohs, there's some ahs, like there's some lyrics and stuff, but this seems to be the first one where it's like vocals up front, like within the first 5 seconds, like they're the focal point. Um, and it's 100% a flip from what people might know you as like a beat head, like the people that came up with you on SoundCloud would be like, oh dude, Graham, like, what? This is sick. I hope my impression is that everyone's very responsive. I haven't seen any haters. Which
Yeah.
and so yeah, like tell us if you can maybe about the whole like concept to completion about Feel.
Yeah. Thank you for all the kind words in the chat as well. I love y'all. But Yeah, it was I think it's just been a long time coming for me to start singing on my own stuff. Um and it's funny because I'm not like a singer really. Like I like singing and I feel like I have a good sense for melodies and shit. Um but you know, kind of I guess the origin story about all that shit was just being in LA. When I lived there in 2018, I lived there for about just under a year before I moved back to Portland. And I just kind of, yeah, I had been doing oohs and ahs for, the longest time. There have been a couple little, like I used to experiment with it when I was like 15 and 16, just doing like tracks on Logic, just like maybe I'll sing here and there. But it was always really discouraging because I would feel like I would write these lyrics and I would have a vision of how it sounded in my head, and then I wouldn't be able to sing it how I wanted it to sound, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would say like I used to be in this band from seventh or eighth grade till sophomore year in high school, and we would just play like pop punk shit, like Blink 182 covers, and like we wrote our own music and stuff as well. But it was funny because me being, 14, 15, 16 in this band, um, as the lead singer and keys player or whatever, I was just my whole thought process was like, so if you're gonna sing right now, which you're gonna do, you're gonna get in front of the audience and sing. The two things you need to focus on is projecting and hitting the notes. Like that was all I was thinking about. I was like, remember the lyrics, project, and hit the notes. Um, but I didn't, but we never really recorded anything. We had one little recording session, but we never really recorded much. So I was never focused on like the aesthetic of my voice, or like how I wanted to how I could use it so that it sounded good. And it wasn't until LA that I really started to like focus on like, okay, you can't just fucking sing the words, because like that works for some people, like some people are belters. Some people can just sing the words and just get it out there. But like for my voice, what I've realized, and it took a bunch of experimentation to kind of realize it, but I'm not a belter. Like I feel like I sound best when I'm singing kind of medium quiet, and like my range is pretty low. I don't have a super high range. I've been kind of working on my falsetto
I've
a
heard
little
some
bit, but
falsetto in your tracks before.
yeah, there definitely is some falsetto.
That ain't no altar boy.
Yeah, yeah, that ain't no fucking altar boy, man. You hear those transients? That's straight up real. Um, but but yeah, like I've it's just about writing melodies within my range, and then once you've got that shit, then it's just about getting the right fucking vocal take, and just laboring over it until it's the right one. And that's kind of where I was at with Feel. Like Feel, when we moved back to Portland in 2019, the end of 2019, uh yeah, just right before COVID hit, we had a bunch of people over. Corey, amazing drummer. Actually, it was just over 2 days ago. The
Yeah.
first time since he recorded Feel.
Holy,
Um,
holy cow. Corey Gordon,
yeah.
right?
What's up?
Corey Gordon, right? Gordon.
No, his name is Corey. Oh fuck, I don't
Oh
even know
wait,
how to say his
no,
last name. It's like
Corey
Corey Lamaco,
Lamaco.
or something.
My bad.
Um, love you, Corey. Hope
Shout out
you
Corey.
gotta teach me how to say your last name. Um, but yeah, so he just kind of laid those down. I looped a part of them, and then built the song around the drums.
And
And
man,
it just
those drums sound so good. When I first heard the single come out, and I think I hit you up the day, I'm like, "Yo, dude, you sound so good on drums. What the fuck?" And you're like, "No, bro, that's Corey." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
yeah,
Corey sounds so good on drums." But
I
like, whoa, like, yeah. Did he record on in that room, or was this something
yeah.
that he remotely sent? Okay.
He recorded in this room, and this was on my old kit, which is now in a rehearsal space. Um, and those drums was probably the most primitive recording on the whole record. Uh, yeah, they're literally. I think how we recorded those. I think it was two microphones, I think it was one Audio Technica AT 2020, uh, right in the center there between the crash and the ride, and
Mhm.
then Rode NTK on the kick, and that was it. And
Sick.
somehow they sounded all right. I still like having my setup that I have now. I'm like, fuck, dude, I should have just re-recorded those because I kind of hate how they sound. Not even gonna lie. Um, but no, Corey fucking killed it. It was just this groove that I saw on Instagram, like somebody playing. It was like something similar to the drum break on Feel, and I was like, yo, you should play something similar to this. And he was like, okay, cool, like this, and like heard it one time, and just like,
That's how it goes.
yeah, exactly, fucking nailed it. And then yeah, recorder was in and out, and then just made the track, man.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I know this stuff is gonna drop into a full record here, in the coming months, um, days, years, who knows? Only you do. But yeah, maybe in regards to what Imaguro here says, are you gonna sing these live with the band? Is that your plan to make a live band here and tour as quickly? Quickly and friends, quickly and company. Like,
Quickly in the Fatback Band.
ooh,
Yeah, no,
quickly
this
in the
is
spliffs.
yeah, quickly in the spliffs, bro. Quickly in the Hello Pandas.
Oh,
Um,
subscription service.
yeah, right. um, no, yeah, that is my plan though, actually. I'm planning to, yeah, I've just been talking to some Portland cats. Corey, I think, is gonna play drums with me. Um, this dude Sam Arnold, who's a crazy bass player, that I haven't actually met yet. I need to need to tap in with him, but he's probably we've been talking to him about playing bass. Um, this dude Zach, local dude on guitar, really nasty guitar player. And then Elliot, my roommate, on backup vocals, violin, live looping shit,
Ooh,
guitar if we need it, piano if we need it. He's gonna be just like the everyman. Um, but yeah,
cool.
that's the goal. I mean, given that we don't fall into, you know, the Walking Dead style zombie apocalypse in the next year or so, we might be able to see this come to fruition.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we all want to see it. You know, it's
I'm excited.
and you, maybe you said this and I just completely went out of my head. But are you gonna play anything in the group? Or are you just gonna sing?
Mm, I think I would play keys
Cool.
and synths. Um, Maybe I'll pick up a guitar for a track or two, but um, yeah, just synths and keys and singing as well. I'm really nervous about live singing because I've been trying to practice like one take singing because on the record it's a lot of just chopped and slopped, you know, trying to
Sure.
get the right takes, as I'm sure people are familiar with. But I'm not really like a one take kind of guy. So I've been trying to, and I also don't remember any of the piano parts from any of my songs. So I've been just trying to like learn the piano parts and practice singing them live so I don't sound like a fucking busted trombone on stage. But
That's the
hopefully
worst
it'll
thing
come
in the
together.
world, dude.
Yeah. I like to say that my absolute goal is to be the worst musician in my band because
Feel that.
if I'm the worst musician, that means everyone else is gonna carry me. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah. Be the worst person in the room and you learn the most. I think
for. Mm-hmm.
that's what's up.
Exactly. Yep.
Dang. Well, if
Yeah.
y'all in the chat have any other names for Quickly's band, let us know. Quickly
Yeah,
and
let me know.
Co.
I'm open to suggestions. I'm thinking maybe Gra- uh Graham and the Crackers, you
Ooh,
know,
that'd be good.
something
Cause
like that.
just for like you know just to say like is I mean would quickly be is do you see that as more of a as your producer name or do you see that as a name that can surpass what has happened right now and it can be a band too?
I think I kind of just see it. It's almost like out of laziness. Like I don't want to change my name to fit what I'm doing now.
Sure.
So yeah, I think quickly is just kind of what it's gonna be, you know. Uh, it's just gonna encompass everything, I guess. Like if I want to, make a fucking experimental noise album, maybe there's gonna be a quickly noise album in the future. Like
Yeah.
I think I just want it to be like kind of everything that I can.
I think it's cool, man, because it's if you know your quickly lore like I did all my Google searching yesterday, you know that Graham wanted his first pop punk band to be named Quickly, but they said that was whack. But now he's starting his band, and it's gonna be called Quickly and the Backpack Blunts.
This is true. I love it. Yeah, that's a good
so
one.
watch out, watch
Won't
out.
have won't have blunts for much longer. The way they're about to brick all the backwoods and menthol and all that shit. Are they doing that in LA too? Have you heard about that?
I think California is banning menthols.
Yeah, they're banning any type of flavored tobacco. So
Right.
that means swishers and woods and any
Yeah.
type of extraneous weed smoking supplies.
You're just
Um,
gonna have to go buy your flavored papers.
yeah, I know. Back to the grape uh zigzags or whatever. I don't
Oh, maybe
know.
those will be. Maybe that'll be the new thing, though. Yeah, you won't have flavored tobacco, but you'll have, flavored
Flavored vapor.
accessories.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. I'm cool with just smoking. You smoke weed, I think, right?
No, I quit in
No,
January,
that's right.
baby.
You quit. Let's go.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, dude. But
Yeah, man. Congratulations, dude.
thanks. Yeah, it's still tough. I get cravings like every day.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You just gotta keep rocking and rolling.
Well,
And
I told myself I'm gonna have a fat stove on New Year's Eve this year. Reevaluate.
nice.
But I told myself
Reevaluate yourself.
I gotta do the
Sometimes
year.
yeah, sometimes you just need a big ass break from that shit to
Hard reset.
make you realize what you're missing, you know.
Right. Yeah. To each their own, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be tough though. You know.
Yeah,
January is gonna come quick. We'll see.
we'll see, man. But yeah, congrats on that, dude. Seriously,
Yeah,
that's
thank
that's
you,
a
bro.
big accomplishment from somebody who smokes weed far more than they should. Uh, it's it's tis but a pipe dream for myself,
Man.
but
Yeah,
we'll get
yeah.
there someday.
Cool. Let's dive into some chat questions here. We got yeah, we got two. Do you like the Space Echo delay compared to Ableton delays? The roll. Oh, you got a Roland Space Echo. That's right.
Yeah, well, so I have this thing called Echo Fix EFX2, which is essentially a rebuild of the Space Echo, like the 201 or something like that. Like the classic, King Tubby dub delay type shit. Um, but it's a remake. It's built by the guy who is like the number one tape echo repairman in like the world or
Mm.
something. And he was like, I'm gonna build my own version of this, with all the similar parts and similar tape and bias and whatever the fuck goes into one of these things. But basically it has a digital reverb in addition to a spring reverb like the old 201s and 301s have. I think that's what they're called. And it also doesn't break because that was a big thing with the Space Echoes apparently, is that they would just fucking break like with no notice. And they're pretty expensive to fix. So this is like a tour ready version of the 201 with all the fixins. But I love it, dude. And in terms of with Ableton delay, I think they're two very very different sounds. The tape echo, as well as all the old Roland ones, are exclusively recorded in mono. Um, so that makes it difficult if you're trying to run like a full stereo drum track through there. It'll just pump it back out in mono. Um, so I use it for
Just by two.
processing.
Yeah, just by
Yeah,
two.
just by two. Might as fucking well, I guess. um, but yeah, I use them for processing a lot. Um, Ableton delay is obviously way faster. You just chuck it on the track and you're good to go. But it also has a very distinct sound. Like I can tell on a song if it's Ableton delay or some other delay. It's like a very like the ping pong especially is extremely cut and dry. It's like
Right.
left, right, left, right, left, right, you know. But yeah, and I like the tape delay too because you have full control over like if I want to twist the knobs and shit and get some feedback in there, change the speed, you know, you do all that in one take, which is pretty tight.
Yeah, damn. We're just hitting them all here.
We got some questions
Yeah, are
here.
you gonna be doing any Twitch streams soon?
I don't know. I'm on a bit of a Twitch hiatus right now. Partly, mostly just because Twitch is stressful for me for some reason. I find that I feel like if I don't make something dope on a Twitch stream, then the people are gonna lose their faith in me. But
No way,
which is
dude.
ridiculous
We
to
love the
think.
seeing the process. I think that's my
Yeah,
favorite thing to watch. Is just like to see how you click and what you click.
thank you, man. Yeah, and I think they are fun to watch because I watch Omari's streams and Kenny's streams and like Vu and whoever else is on Twitch. So maybe they'll make a return in the future. I just kind of at this point I just do them randomly, like because
Sure.
sometimes a lot of times lately or like when I stopped twitching, uh, I would end up just playing a bunch of beats that I had made. Like instead of making stuff, I would just be like, oh, here's a random beat that I made, which I think is fun for maybe more fun for me than for other people because it's all these shit that I forgot about. Um,
Yeah,
but uh, but yeah,
feel
maybe we'll
that.
see. Maybe we'll see a return. You know.
Maybe a return to the Twitchiverse, the Twitchin.
Yep.
Um, okay. From man, they just kind of start flooding in. How do you like drums, bro?
I love them. Next question.
Sick. What are your three Desert Island plugins?
Oh God, plugins. Um,
We already know RC20 is not one of them, dude. So
fuck RC20. RC20 is at the bottom of the ocean. Um,
with the Titanic, bro.
yeah. Um, dude, I'm gonna have to go with some boring ones maybe. Probably FabFilter Pro L, Pro Limiter, just because I use it on every song I've ever made. Um, and then oh, Sound Toys, Little Radiator for sure. Amazing plugin, amazing plugin. Really great distortion. And then maybe for the wild card, I'll go for I'll do two that could be interchangeable. There's this really sick plugin called RX 950. It's by independent developer guy. It's like $20. It's really fire. It's
With
a
the filter.
yeah, it has a filter on it. It's like a analog converter or
Yeah.
something. I don't really know what it does, but it's fucking sick. Um, and then Sketch Cassette as well. That's a great plugin.
There you have it. Three Desert
Also,
Island plugins.
also $20 if you want to go get Sketch Cassette. $30 maybe. Insane plugin. Yeah, really good.
Okay, and last one here, but then we'll kind of go on to more of my questions. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you write stuff as you go, or do you sometimes or just sometimes come with a written song and produce it?
Um, the extent to which I write songs before I record them is usually just, if at all, it'll be like a piano loop or like a guitar like chorus or something. I record a lot on my voice memos. Just like if I have an idea for something, I'll record it on voice memos and maybe turn into something. But I don't think I've ever, which is kind of fucked now that I'm thinking about this. I don't think I've ever written a full song. I, I, I mean, with the exception of when I was with my band, we used to write full songs and then record them. But I don't think I've ever as quickly written a full song and then recorded it. Yeah. So I just write as I go. That's the way that works best for me. Um,
You can argue too that like that's how that is writing a full song. You know, it's like not to say that that when you're done with the song you're gonna fucking just that's it. You know,
yeah.
it's
No,
like
yeah. I think it's a cool way to work. I think it confuses the fuck out of people who don't do it that way. Um, because they can't it's some for some people it's easier to conceptualize something than it is to, make it as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have the whole thing of like, oh well, now I need to redo this bass take because like I can't just loop it because we're going into a different section. I have to like redo it rather than like if you had already written it, excuse me, you could just play the whole fucking take.
Right.
And I think partly comes out of the fact that I'm not the greatest musician who's ever lived. So I often can't play a full song front to back, like no mistakes. But I also just like doing it, almost reverse engineering the song,
Sure.
like from the drums up. Usually is like I'll start with the drums and then figure out a melody over top, and then just go from there. Yeah, usually vocals come last for me. That's the sauce.
That's good. That I mean, everyone's got their workflow, man, and I feel like it's always interesting to hear how people write and how people like. I'm usually not a concern as what you write, but always about how you write. You know.
Right. Yeah,
So
definitely. Just about put in the hours,
yeah,
just like
yeah.
everything.
Well, hey, we're midway midway through the stream here, and gotta do a little PSA here. We're talking about cranking our snares.
Right.
So we do have a little donation button in our Twitch stream. If you go to our Twitch stream, go to our About section. There's a donate bad that does support the stream, gives us the ability to keep our website up, meticulously up. www.thedrumstream.com has all the previous episodes, all 16 of them, and we're gonna add the 17th one here, probably by the end of the day. And that's it. That's my story. And let's get back to, yeah, let's get some air horn in there.
Hey, first person to donate $100, I'll send them. Oh,
What?
what was that? First person to donate $100, I'll send them an exclusive break that I recorded myself
Goddamn.
yesterday.
Goddamn. You heard it first.
Incentive.
Incentivizing the peeps. I love it.
Exactly.
So one thing that maybe not a lot of people know, but I would just love to know like what how did you get to music? I saw a couple interviews. You mentioned your grandfather was a big influence. He was a classical pianist. So like, what inspired you early on? Was there like some sort of catalyst that kind of catapulted you into music early on?
Man, that's proper. Yeah, you did some research. Yes, my grandpa was a classical pianist. My mom was like a she took piano lessons all through, her formative years, and used to be like a camp counselor, like always had a guitar around, like used to play guitar and stuff when I was little. Yeah, my aunt is a music teacher. So we just kind of had music just drifting around in the family. And yeah, and I remember like I don't remember. I remember my mom telling me, and we have photos. Like I have a photo in my room. My grandpa, who he recently passed, bless his
Sorry to hear that,
heart.
man.
Yeah, I mean, he was 90 years old, did his whole thing, like no complaints. But he whenever he was in town, because he's from Colorado, so he used to come to our house and just play piano. And like he would sit me up on the stool and I would just kind of watch as he played, like when I was really young, like a newborn baby. And then we always had an upright in the house growing up. So I used to just jam on the upright, just smash the fucking keys like that. And I think at a certain point, my mom told me, because my mom has low tolerance for uh loud noise, so I think at a certain point she was like, Graham, like please, you have to play with your fingers, like you can't just fucking like, you know like smash the keys, like you have to play with your fingers.
Feel
And
that.
so that, yeah, that kind of led me to start doing that. So I say, and obviously I don't really remember, but I think I started playing piano when I was about 2, like playing piano, like just dinking around. But around that time, we had like these stickers that I put stickers on the keys that I thought sounded good together. Um, it was just like because I would do like two finger, you know, chords or whatever,
Yeah.
uh, and I put all these stickers on these keys, not having any idea. Yeah, she said no button mashing, bro,
No
none at
way.
all.
None of that.
Um, but that was kind of crazy because I remember like we still have that upright in my mom's garage, and the stickers are all faded and shit, but you can still tell what keys they're on. And it's funny because looking back on it now, knowing what little bits of music theory I know, I'm like looking at these keys, and I like when I was like 3 or 2 or whatever, I put a sticker on C, and I like put one on E,
Yeah.
and it was like the two red stickers, which is, like a third, like a major third.
Yeah.
So it was all these like intervals. It'd be like a fourth, or like you'd have a blue sticker on C and E, or on C and G, and it'd be like a fifth. But in my little tiny newborn brain, I was like, these sound cool together. Um, so that was kind of the introduction. I started taking piano lessons when I was 5, and hated it. Hated practicing. Never liked practicing. Never liked reading music at all. Still don't know how to read music. Used to know a little bit. Could never sight read. Yeah, and then so yeah, just playing piano. Did that band for a while, and like the proper like origin story, I guess, would be the summer before 8th grade. I was like a huge into skating, and I still love skating. I haven't really been skating lately, but I was huge into skating. I used to go to the skate park in Portland called Commonwealth every single day in the summer, and I was already like making beats on the side, just like kind of for fun or whatever. Um, and so the summer of 8th grade, I was skating every day. And one day I broke my leg horrendously bad in the bowl. Um, and it was a week before freshman year of high school. And I was in a full leg cast from like almost like my hip all the way down to my, like into my ankle, because I had to reset. Like I broke both bones in my lower leg and shit. It was hectic.
Oh shit.
Um, but with that kind of I was gonna play like soccer in high school or whatever, but I couldn't do that because soccer season's in the fall. So I didn't really have anything to do. I couldn't skate, I couldn't do anything. So I just like was like, well, I'm making beats. I like making beats, so I might as well just start doing that a lot. And I got really into it. I remember going over to Barra Brown's house, who was actually in this chat a
Yeah,
second ago.
Barra. He was also a
Yeah.
guest of the show too.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah. Shout out Barra, legend.
Barra,
Um,
what up?
Barra's like a weirdly long time like family friend. My aunt used to teach music at the college that he went to.
Right. Yeah, he
Yeah, so
mentioned that.
I've known Barra for forever, and he was kind of the only person that I knew that like made beats or whatever, or did production shit. So I remember going to his house and being like, what DAW should I use? Like, what even is a DAW? Like, what is all this shit? And he told me about Logic. So I downloaded Logic, and yeah, me and my broken leg, we just learned how to make beats, and slowly but surely it kind of just took over everything I did, and that was the rest is history, I guess.
Man, so you just got hella hurt, and you're like,
Yeah,
man, I gotta sit on my couch, so I might as well make it productive and make beats.
exactly.
Whereas
Yeah,
everyone else at that age would probably have just like played Call of Duty ad nauseum.
yeah. I didn't have any gaming systems really growing up. I had like a Wii and a Nintendo DS, and my mom had a Super Nintendo. But this was kind of post Wii craziness, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is like 2014, 2015, and I was just like, well, I don't have any of that shit. I'm not really into it anyway, so might as well just make beats, I guess.
That's tight. So like when you were making like, was it just fun? Was it just like you were just kind of like, was it the same feeling of were you just like busting up on a computer, or like was it just, or did you know like, yo, I'm making music because because I'm trying to sound like this person yet, or was it just
Well,
like flipping through all the presets? Oh, that sounds cool. I want to put this loop here and that loop there, and
I mean, initially, like when I first started making I mean, it all goes back to Mr. Carmack, like for real. Like
Hmm.
as most people on SoundCloud, I feel like it does. I remember hearing I used to be really into trap music in like middle school, and all of it was like new and exciting and like loud bass and shit. And then I heard Carmack's shit, and it was the same thing. It was new and it had loud bass, but it like felt different, and the drums hit harder, and like the melodies were crazier, and like everything just kind of connected in a way that I hadn't really heard
Hmm.
before.
Hmm.
And that was when I knew, because I'd always been a fan of hip hop, and uh like I guess, excuse me, I'd always just been drawn more to the beats rather than like the rappers, um for one reason or another. But yeah, I found out about Carmack and started getting into SoundCloud. Like just wanted a place to post whatever shit I was making on.
Right.
Um and Yeah, and so I started just getting really into SoundCloud. And like as soon as I found out about Carmack, it was like, okay, well, Sam G is next. And then it's like, okay, and then you're finding out about Selection and like Esta and fucking, like all the dudes. And it was essentially just it kind of just snowballed into like pretty soon SoundCloud was the only thing I cared about. And it was like, yeah, I was definitely trying to make Carmack type stuff, but I knew that it wasn't the way to, achieve what I wanted to do, was just to copy somebody else. So it was more of just like trying to find people to talk about music with, because none of my friends really made beats or anything.
Right. SoundCloud,
So it's
it
just
was really like a community of I mean, I don't want to say like just people that were, on their computer making music, like when it wasn't, dare I say, like cool yet to do that,
yeah,
or it wasn't even, I wouldn't say it's not cool. It wasn't cool. It was probably bitching anytime you showed someone your shit, but like it wasn't known.
right.
That
And
SoundCloud now versus SoundCloud then was completely different.
yeah, and it's interesting too, because like I'm waiting for somebody to make a fucking like feature length documentary on SoundCloud, because the lore that goes into that shit is actually insane. Like there's like different waves of SoundCloud producers, like I don't know what wave I'm in, but like I always see Carmack and like the early Selection stuff, and like Sam G. That was like the first. At least this is just in terms of my timeline. That was the first wave where I was like, okay, this shit is fucking sick. And like those are the first dudes that I found on SoundCloud. Um, and Yeah, it was such a good community. I mean, I owe it all to SoundCloud. Like I really, really do. Like everything that I've been able to make, everything I know about production, came from talking to people on Skype. Uh, and like just I guess just the general excitement about releasing and sharing music, and just getting hyped on like learning about all this culture that was so new to me at the time,
Mm-hmm.
really like boosted my interest in music and production, tenfold. And yeah, so I guess I just really, that was kind of like the pivotal moment. And it's funny because like when I think about, because this whole time I was in high school, and when I think about like my relationship with school and music, at a certain point it was like when I first started high school, it was like school was way up here, you know and music was maybe down here. It was like second, third, fourth priority.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the years it was slowly like this, music would get, and then eventually school is like way at the bottom, and music is like the only thing I cared about by senior year. And yeah, I owe all that shit to SoundCloud, man. That was what got me hyped on making music, really.
Hell yeah. I think, like something that SoundCloud offers that is unique to SoundCloud is the comment section.
Yeah,
Because
that's the shit right there.
if a comment section is just going off and you're only like 5 seconds into the song, like you just, I mean, either this person has like just way too much clout, or it's gonna be a shitty, like sorry, excuse me, a slapping track, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know any other like platforms that offer, maybe it's that amount of like just petting the ego a little bit, because I mean, as a producer, as a person who put it out, when you see that, You know, I mean, it's just every time you post a picture and it gets a comment, it's the same thing, same endorphin rush you get. But like, also as a listener, like
Yeah,
when you're listening on SoundCloud and you see all those things, you get hyped because you're like, oh, maybe I should be commenting, you know. And I'm sure
dude.
they thought about that, but like that's to me like such a unique thing. And I you know I applaud you for staying loyal to the SoundCloud, you know, mafia, if you will. Like, you know, I when I was checking today and I saw the field was up there, I'm like, well, of course it's up there. You know, like
Of course,
some
bro. Yeah.
people like I don't know. I feel like some people left SoundCloud for I don't know bigger better things. Sometimes you know it's just like they
Yeah.
forget about it. You know they don't think it's as important. But do you
And
still feel
like,
like it's important as it was then as it is now?
I mean, I've talked a lot about this. I feel like on Instagram and just Twitch, and like I get asked about it a lot. Is like, what do you think about the, you know, the current state of SoundCloud or whatever? And I think that SoundCloud was its own demise because it was just a it was just a critical lack of taking taking into account of what the users wanted versus what the SoundCloud CEO or whoever was running the show wanted, you know? Like
Mm.
they didn't listen to anything people were saying. Like people have been saying, like, you know, upgrade the sound quality, upgrade the file quality. They've been saying that shit since I started on SoundCloud, and it's still, you know, like shit fucking quality or whatever. So like I think they ended up shooting themselves in their own feet, if you will, because like it was like a damn near perfect perfect app, I would say, for a while there, and then it just like everyone was really excited for, you know, always like the new SoundCloud update, and then you'd be expecting them to add like I don't even know, like to add like sound resolution, like to up the sound revolution, and then you get the update, and it's just like they changed the profile photos from a square to a circle, and you're like, dude, nobody gave a shit about this. Like, what do you like?
Right.
Why does this matter at all? And so I think that's kind of what, you know, led to their own demise. And then of course Spotify and Apple Music were essentially like, hey, well, we have all the music in the world that's ever been professionally released for a small subscription fee.
Yeah.
And they did that. Hey, Vu in the chat, what's up, Vu?
Boo in the house. What up,
Um,
Boo?
and then yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of, I think it has certainly fell off, like just in terms of numbers, like what I've noticed myself. I used to get like, man, it was fucking crazy. I used to get like 100,000 SoundCloud listens on a track. Like in the best days, it would be like 100,000 SoundCloud listens on a track in like a month, and that was kind of like regular for me. And I maybe had half the followers I have now on there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just I think it's gonna end up almost like on some MySpace shit where it's like they did so much to form the idea of uh like music sharing in a social media way, but it just couldn't, like something about it just didn't translate. It didn't move with the times, you know.
Sure.
And now like I still use the SoundCloud app. Like I pay for fucking SoundCloud Go or whatever it's called. But I only pay for it because the ads, if you don't have it, are literally unbearable. Like you can't skip ads anymore. It'll just be two ads in a like 30-second ads in a row. And like if I'm trying to just listen to music and I hear two 30-second unskippable ads in a row, like it's definitely just some first world problem shit. But
Oh.
I'll just switch to Spotify because like I pay for Spotify. And yeah, I have the um I have the Chrome extension. I don't get ads anywhere on my computer, but the most of the time when I'm listening to SoundCloud, I'm on my phone, and I'm not, my poo poo brain doesn't have the smarts to figure that out. But
There's always a workaround somewhere, but
there always is,
not on
man.
your
It's like
phone. Your
it's
phone.
always like you gotta like jailbreak your phone and like fucking, I don't know, run Android through your iOS or whatever.
Damn it. We
But
just want it to be simple.
yeah, right. Just take out the ads, bro. Like, pay your artists. Like, what the fuck are
Right.
you guys doing?
Fucking A.
Yeah. But long story short, like, I think I owe everything to SoundCloud. I'm sad to see the user base dwindle. But in the same respect, dude, there's still like bajillions of insane fucking musicians and producers on SoundCloud, because at its core, it's what it's always been, which is just a website where you can upload music. That you don't need to pay to upload music. You don't need to go through a distributor. You just hit upload. You make your account, hit upload, and you're cake. Like it's
Yeah,
good to go.
yeah, yeah. So you mentioned too that Carmack was a big influence on you early on, and
Yes, sir.
this has kind of come to fruition as of recently, and you got to produce a full track for and with him. What was that like?
Yeah, I've worked with him on a couple occasions. Um, he's just a really
Like, did he
fucking
reach out to
cool
you? Did you
dude.
reach out to him? Like, how'd that all go down?
Well, so he followed me on SoundCloud like maybe 2017, 18. And that was like I remember being high as fuck in my room, and I dead ass like almost started crying. Like it was some crazy shit. Um, but yeah, he when I was in LA, my really good friend Julius had a studio with these dudes, Dillip and Othello. Or used to have this one in Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
And Carmack just happened to pull up one day, and I wasn't there. I saw Julius posted it on his Instagram story, and I literally texted Julius and I was like, "Can I come over right now?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course, dude. Of course, like pull up. Carmack's here." I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking know. Like that's why I want to pull up." Um, and yeah, pulled up, and like he was just a cool ass dude, like very down to earth. I'm sure I was really weird and shy. I know I was, but yeah, I played him some of my music. He was fucking with it, or whatever. Got his number, and yeah, we're just like homies now. It's kind of insane. So like when we made I've made a couple of stuff with him. All when I happen to be in LA, we'll just like link up or whatever. But I've been to his house a couple times, like kind of surreal. Still pretty surreal. Like
Yeah,
when he texts me or calls me or whatever, I'm like, really? This fucking Mr. Carmack calling me on my phone? Like, what is going on?
I feel that, dude. It's like yeah, your hero's now your homie.
Yeah, right. It's nutty. It's crazy how this shit works, man.
That's some LA story shit right
That
there.
is some like almost exclusively LA shit, dude.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man, I would, I think, we linked up right before you left for Portland. I believe, I almost think you were leaving like either that next week or that next day. I don't care, it doesn't matter. But like,
Yeah.
what was the LA experience like for you, and why did you feel like the move back to Portland was better?
LA experience was like if you could look at it like a pie chart, it would be mostly the largest majority would be really good. Um, but the yeah, I don't know. It was like I had made a lot of great friends out there, met a lot of cool people, did a lot of cool shit. I just felt like I wasn't justifying LA to my own standards. Like I expected to be like in the studio all the time, like going to places and like networking and shit, but I've never really been great at all that. So I wasn't like putting myself out there that much, you know. I was just kind of like staying in my room and making beats for the most part and hanging out with my group of friends.
Yeah,
Um, and I felt like I couldn't really justify the rent for what I was paying and like what I was getting out of it, you know, like living deep in the valley in Van Nuys and like just it was just kind of a whole bunch of shit. My current girlfriend, we met like a week or two before I moved to LA. So we've been doing but somehow we've been doing long distance for like the whole time I was there. Um, and so I was just going back to Portland like once a month or so
yeah,
to go visit her anyway. And I just every time I'd go to Portland, I seemed to be happier, and like the trees and shit were just lovely. Like have you been to Portland before?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like there's this crazy kind of vibe there or here, where it's just everything is so green, like all the neighborhoods, like no matter almost what doesn't matter what part of town you're in, it's like every neighborhood is like
Oh yeah,
bright green in the
trees
summer and
everywhere,
spring.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like it's just that Pacific Northwest shit. And I think also you tend to be drawn to the place that you've spent the most time in, you
Mm,
know? Doesn't matter if it's your hometown or what, but like I'm just drawn to Portland. You know, I like the atmosphere better. The air is cleaner, you know, just like it just feels better for me. So
drink the tap
that's
water.
yep, exactly. You can don't need a fucking
Don't need a
pure
Brita.
or whatever. Yeah.
Damn, dude. I think that's the realest part. You know,
That just
clean
might be
air, clean water. Let's just bring it down to
yeah.
those two and fucking call it.
Literally, yeah. And I miss the seasons too, man. LA is like one season.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. Growing up in Southern California, you get so used to that, bro. When I went to Tennessee, and I just realized everything is in, you know, everything's just hot. There's fucking bugs everywhere.
Yep.
I just couldn't fuck with it for a second. It was done, one and
Yeah.
done.
I feel honestly like pretty spoiled to have grown up in Portland because it's a very like I feel like it's maybe unique isn't the best word, but it's a pretty like serene climate, you know.
Mm,
It doesn't ever get super crazy hot, doesn't ever get super crazy cold.
right.
It's just like right in the middle, hits all the marks you would want it to hit. Um yeah, so
I feel
just
that.
I'm a Portland kid, man. Like I do miss LA though. I've been thinking about you know, I can see myself living back out there in the next 3 to 5 years or so.
For real. Cool.
Yeah.
Bro, I
Um,
mean, you always got a place down here, baby.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I think me and the roommates are trying to make a trip up sometime like
Hell
late
yeah.
June or something. Like
Hell
I'm
yeah.
double vaxxed up. Elliot's double vaxxed up. Omari just got his first the other day. So
Dang.
we gotta
That's
we
what's
gotta
up.
do
That's
the whole
that's the
thing, man.
deal. Bring us some donuts, okay?
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about donuts. So let me just say real quick, everybody who knows about Portland knows about Voodoo Donuts. It's not it, bro. It's not it.
There's a lot of hype.
There's a lot of hype. I don't know. I don't know. It might be more bark than it is bite.
Mm. So
You know.
what's the real donut of Portland?
Well, I live right next to a Heavenly Donuts, which is this donut chain in Portland. And actually, randomly, I was there with Medicine when he was in town at like literally like 3 a.m. And in the store ordering donuts, 20 minutes from his house is fucking Rob and Machado. They were just like kicking it in there, like ordering donuts.
That's
Uh,
ridiculous.
yeah, and we were like, "What's up, man?" So
Rafael's
yeah,
such a night owl though.
yeah, I know.
He's up, dude.
He's always fucking up. Yeah, but yeah, Heavenly Donuts is pretty dope. Always, you know, Krispy Kreme, whatever. I think Voodoo is just like hype because they have fucking yes, Sesame Donuts is fi. Sesame Donuts is
Oof.
fi. I think it's Voodoo Donuts is just hype because they have like the bacon donut and like the fucking like you can get like a donut in the shape of like a voodoo doll with a little pretzel stick in
Don't
the
forget the
center for like
blunt
the
donut, dude. The You can get a
yeah,
donut in
oh,
the
that's
shape of a
right.
Blunt. Bro,
Yeah. So
the
you
last
know
time I was up
the
there, I
the
cruised Voodoo. I've cruised Voodoo hard just because I was doing tourist shit.
yeah.
I got like 8 donuts, and like $60.
Yeah, man.
It was expensive.
I mean, it's not to say that voodoo donuts are bad because I think to every, you know, just about every donut is good to some extent. You know what I mean?
Can't really fuck up
Um,
a donut.
but you
The
can't
dick
really,
the
you know,
dick
it's like
donut.
not really. Yeah, the dick donut, yeah, filled with cream or cum as it will. Uh yeah, so voodoo donuts not terrible, not bad. Maybe not the best. A little bit overhyped. If you're not trying to wait in line though,
Sure.
go anywhere else
Yeah.
because the voodoo lines can be fucking ridiculously long.
Dude, do you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just not
on the
what I'm
donut
waiting
tip,
for.
do you fuck with cronuts? Or does Portland fuck with
Oh,
cronuts?
what is that?
Those are croissant donuts.
That's right. Yeah.
Buttery, flaky
Some dude like
donuts.
invented those, right?
Yeah.
There's like a dude who like created that. I've had them before. They're probably somewhere in
Maybe there's
Portland.
some
I'm not
LA
sure though.
shit too, but I don't know. I had them at a LA at a gig, and it was just like, the gig had a bunch of food, and a cronut vendor We got all the extra cronuts at the end of the gig.
Reminder, bro.
You know.
Yeah, I've definitely had them before. They are pretty insanely fire.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta try those, bro. The cronuts, spelled just like
I'm
it
gonna have to get
sounds.
the authentic. Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Oh, CRO.
CRONUT.
I was seeing it with a K in my head, but that's not how you spell
Which one is?
croissant.
Yeah, yeah, CRONUT.
Yeah.
Cronut.
Yep. They're a vibe.
Wild.
They're a vibe, dude.
Invented in 2013. Damn, took us that long.
Recent to put frosting on
Crazy how
this.
we invented. Yeah, it's crazy how we invented you know, industrialism before we invented the cronut.
We've just been
There's a
sleeping.
there, yeah, there's a direct pipeline there somewhere.
Maybe
I don't
there was
know.
just maybe someone bought out the cronut and was just like, no, that's not gonna hit the stores.
Yeah, sorry guys, this is not it.
It's like Ford
Yeah,
buying the electric car.
he's
Anyway.
like, I'll I'll prove you wrong.
um okay, on to more pressing donut topics. Let's talk about something big that I feel like kind of maybe came alongside the Feel release. You can tell me the timeline, but you just got signed to Ghostly International, which
I did
how
indeed.
which houses people like Shigeto, Matthew Deer, and the EDM powerhouse Tycho, who I fuck with. I like Tycho. I think they're sick.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what's it like being on? I mean, is there any talks of like being on like some label tour? I mean, what does this do for Quickly buying large?
um they give me money
That's
to
that's good.
fund my shit, which is a big part of it. um the thing that really drew me to Ghostly was the most of their aesthetic and their attention to detail. Like looking at their album covers and shit, I think they have a really good eye for design. Like they have really sick merch that like they focus heavily on vinyl and merchandise, which I think is really cool. Because I have a big fucking bone to pick with shitty artist merch. Um,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of it is low quality and like just garbage, you know.
Yeah. Don't make
Um,
Gildan shirts, dude.
that's what I'm
Whatever you do,
saying. Yeah,
fuck
like
Gildan.
yeah. So like we um yeah, I don't know that I didn't know a lot of the artists on there. Obviously, I knew like Tycho and you know, I was a big fan of Simon, who's also on there. Shigeto is really dope. C418 did the Minecraft soundtrack, you know, really dope. Initially I was kind of wondering like I was like, do I fit in here? Because the shit that I had already been working on, you know, uh feel and all that shit. So I was like, is this really gonna fit on this electronic-y label? But they Ghostly recently signed a joint deal under this group called Secretly Group, which is a group of labels. It's four labels now. So it's Secretly Canadian, uh, Dead Oceans, Jaguar, and now Ghostly. So they all fall under the same roof essentially. Um, and that kind of sold me on it because they all those labels have different sounds to them. Like Dead Oceans has like Krangbin and fucking
Yeah.
like a bunch of shit like that. Jaguar has like Bon Iver and you know, Angel Olsen, Sharon Van Etten or whatever. Secretly Canadian has like fucking Yoko Ono and like this like a ton of crazy musicians that I'm a huge fan of. Um and yeah, Ghostly was just really interested in what I was doing, and I was kind of surprised that they liked it as the record as much as they did. And yeah, just worked out. It's funny, I've been signed with them since last August.
Mm.
So we just announced it recently, but we've been doing the whole thing like while the whole time I've been quiet on releasing and shit, we've been hard at work
Very
in that
good. Well, I
aspect.
know I know everyone out there wants to get the new good here soon, and I'm sure you'll make an announcement whenever that is happening. Um,
Yes, sir. We got uh dare I say 2 weeks until something happens. So
dang.
Yeah.
Dang. Big eyes. Big eyes. 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah. Explode. Explosions. Pyro. Pyro. Pew pew pew.
Exactly. Yeah.
2 weeks. Thick. Um, Another thing I wanted to ask about um was I feel like you have such a wide range of like musical tastes, from like hip hop. You've like posted some videos about some like psych rock bands that I've never heard of, and then like I know you're really big on like Brazilian music and like kind of like underground that stuff. So like how has all that like informed your music making, and and be as specific as you can, like obviously I feel like there's different ages of you know of your musical catalog that are informed by certain
Yeah.
certain crates, if you will.
Well, all the early shit was uh really just exclusively informed by SoundCloud, pretty much. Like all through high school, I didn't. It's sometimes I make the distinction between SoundCloud and what I call real music, which is obviously complete bullshit because everything is music. Like me tapping on the table is just as much music as the Beatles in my eyes. But yeah, I pretty much exclusively listened to SoundCloud for a long ass time. Um, and didn't really listen to anything outside of that. I didn't have Spotify or any of that shit till like senior year of high school, so 2018 or so, 2017. And yeah, and then I started like it's this weird type of thing cuz I've been sampling music for a really long time, and it just kind of turned into like I started to enjoy the samples more than I would enjoy like the beats that I would make out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that's kind of it goes ties all into the fact that I want to start recording my voice and shit because like uh I just started enjoying like the musical aspects of this stuff rather than recontextualizing them, just listening to the samples for fun because I liked how they sounded. um and yeah, the past like 3 4 years have just been a fucking domino effect of listening to like rapidly trying to listen to as much music as I can possibly fit into my tiny brain. Um, just like trying to pull from everything. I listen to a lot of jazz. Um, try to get some chord inspo or like recording inspo. Like I love the way a lot of jazz was recorded. A lot of like 70s spiritual jazz with all the crazy percussion and shit.
Hell yeah.
Pharoah Sanders shit. Um, I love like I've been yeah, I don't I it's hard to really be specific for me because I listen to so much random shit and it all informs what I do somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like certain artists will inform it more than others. Like do you know McGee? Have you heard of McGee?
No.
Oh man, you gotta here, I'm gonna type this in the chat real quick. You
McGee.
gotta peep this. You would love him. Yeah, he's this dude from California. He's really, really fucking dope. My roommate Elliot put me onto him maybe like a year or so ago, and it was kind of fucked up because I'd already been making all this vocal shit, and I heard his stuff, and I was like, I had this moment of like, oh, he's doing everything that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Um, but that kind of informs my music more than anything because like when I have musicians like that, like when I first got really into Madlib, it was like, oh well, that's what I want to be doing. Um,
Right.
so then I take a lot of inspiration from stuff like that and figure out how to use the stuff I'm learning from listening to them in a way that is different. It's almost like sampling ideas. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, a lot of like yeah, somebody said make a playlist. Like I've been meaning to make a playlist. If you go to my personal Spotify page, I have a bunch of shit up there. It's just literally like, I'll type it. You can look up this on Spotify and find my personal page. Um,
Your PP.
yeah, my PP. But uh, yeah, just I try to just cram as much shit as I possibly can, and I like it. I like living with Elliot and Omari too because they both have extremely wide sonic palettes. And they just are always putting me on to to shit, you know.
Hell yeah. Well, that's awesome. Uh, good, good answer. Um,
Yes, sir.
so one thing I noticed too, a lot of what's been going on with a lot of your posts recently is you've been always mentioning about Lucid Monday, and Lucid
Yeah.
Monday seems to be kind of turning into, or is probably more than I know, a community that's kind of surrounding this kind of like movement that you guys are starting, and it's almost like it's if you know you know kind of spot. I kind of almost equate it to like OK Player, almost like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of the same. Like you go on there, like if you want to get the skivvy on some hot new shit that no one's heard of.
Right.
Um, I mean, so in your opinion, is this? I mean, what is Lucid Monday to you, and how is it helping the community, or how is it
So
helping you?
Lucid Monday is a collective, we all, those who have been on SoundCloud for a while, come from the era of SoundCloud collectives. Like, you had Future Collective, fucking uh pizza, what was that called? Pizza Club or something. I don't, it was like everyone wanted to have like a collective of musicians that was going to be essentially the next like Selection, because Selection like ruled, they kind of ruled the whole SoundCloud thing. And so my friend Julius, who was, he's like one of my best friends. He lives in LA, and I met him before I moved to LA. They were already planning on moving to LA. And he was like, I have this thing called Lucid Monday. We're like a SoundCloud collective, and we have these really sick artists. And I found out about them initially because so the uh Julius has a bunch of roommates. Two notable roommates would be this dude named Dillip and this dude named Othello. And they're both like otherworldly producers, like incredible producers, both really, really early inspirations for me on SoundCloud. Like before I had any notoriety or anything, I was like, I want my drums to sound like Dillip's drums. And like I want my melody and mixing to sound like Othello. Like extremely high influences. And so when I met all of them, and they all live in the same house together, and when I met all of them, I just kind of got, I was like, we just clicked really well. These are just like my brothers, and like, uh, yeah. So I just started fucking with Lucid Monday, which was Julius's thing. I think he started in high school. Um, got the sticker on the back of my phone,
Hey, hey,
Lucid Monday.
shout out Lucid Monday.
Um, and yeah, I'm really proud of Julius and the whole gang to see where it's turned into, because Julius has incredible, like impeccable people skills. He's very much a people person. So he's always networking and shit. And like he made a fucking print magazine that had like a full like feature story in there with.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah, Lucid Monday is essentially just like an ever expanding collective of friends and musicians, and they do like a sort of bi-monthly SoundCloud drop of like a bunch of songs from a ton of people. Um, yeah, just fucking good vibes. Really, really talented musicians in that camp. And there's no like, it's not a label. You don't like sign to Lucid Monday. It's just like homies.
You're just in the crew.
Yeah, it's just the crew, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Love
The
it.
crew.
And it's just artists supporting artists, which is, I think, at the end of the day, that's like a very, what's the word? Fertile ground, like
Yeah,
for
exactly.
anyone that wants to keep, grinding, keep jamming. Also, it's
Yeah,
good. It's a good place for people to listen and to get more, get further inspired too.
exactly. Yeah, and I know a lot of people look up to you know, like younger kids on SoundCloud, they look up to Dillip and Othello and myself even, which is crazy to think about. And so it's cool to like have this kind of this output of like YouTube videos and like Instagram takeovers and shit like that to kind of get
Mm-hmm.
get kids hyped on. Like this is what, you know, you can
Yeah.
do this. And they have shows and shit too. I've played at a number of Lucid Monday shows. Yeah, the first copy of the magazine is fucking sick. Like it's just all about producers. It's like it's not a magazine about like what's hot in the music scene today. Like what's the new like Billie Eilish track, it's like who are the people behind all this shit, you know, like kind of soundscaping the new the new wave, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know, to sound pretentious with it, but
Well, goddamn. Um, definitely want to chuck it in the chat. See if you guys have any other questions for Graham before we split. We got about a couple minutes left.
yes, sir.
Obviously, if you're not subscribed to the Drumstream channel, please hit that subscribe button, smash that thing. Even if you never come back, just smash it.
I'm
And
gonna hit that shit right now, actually.
and yeah, it really helps. Also like to give a shout out to Mark who donated $10 earlier. Thanks, Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
And yeah, if you
Legend.
guys feel like donating to the stream, you can go to our about section, and there's a little donate button. It keeps the lights on, and domains are not cheap. But hey, man, we're out here just trying to bring the community together, and keep it going every week
Yes, sir.
until we don't do it anymore.
I'm gonna definitely be tuning into these, man. I haven't like, yeah, this is a sick fucking thing you got
Yeah,
going on.
we're gonna have some. We'd like to have more than just drummers on this. From now on, it's very very musically informed chat. You know. But
Sure.
for everyone that's here, because Graham's here, we do normally have a bunch of drummers on here, and we talk hella drum nerd shit. So tell all your drummer friends too, because drums are fun. Drums are fun, and
They are
drums are
fun.
fun.
From my limited knowledge of how to play drums and what's going on, this shit's so fucking fun, dude.
Dude.
Unbelievably fun.
Yeah, and Graham, you're such a pleasure to talk to, and such a pleasure also to hear write all your music. I can't wait to hear your new record.
Thank
Um,
you, man. I
I,
appreciate it,
I think
bro.
it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm
Oh
anticipating
man. I will
every
say too,
every every track slapping.
I'm playing a lot of drums on the record, so
Hell
you'll
yeah.
get some
I guess we
drums.
got one question. The next piece of gear that you want to get, what is it
Well,
that you
I
need to
just
buy?
we were talking about preamps earlier, maybe a preamp. I also got a random text this morning, um, saying, wait, hold on, saying, "Hey Graham, Anthony at Sweetwater here. I'm good friends with Rob Araujo and have been a longtime fan of yours. I have an artist accommodation discount set up that I'd like to extend to you. Anytime you need a price on something, feel free to hit me up. So maybe the next purchase will be coming straight from the great website known as Sweetwater.
Watch out, dude. They're listening.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure they are.
They're here. They're here.
um, but yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna get next. I've kind of been spending way too much money on gear lately, so maybe my next purchase will be that of the mind.
I feel that. The mind? You're gonna buy a book?
Purchase some purchase a one bedroom room of space in my mind. How about that?
That's a tall order, but
Yeah, that's a bar right there somewhere.
there's someone out there that could spin that for sure.
Yeah,
Not me.
exactly.
Well, Graham, I think it's time. Time to put this one out to pasture. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it. I'm with it.
All
Man,
right.
thanks for having me on, bro.
Yeah,
This has been
absolutely.
fucking sick.
And thanks to everyone for watching and staying here. Make sure you subscribe. Come on back, and we're gonna have more great artists in the coming weeks. We're here every Tuesday from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, and if we're on Instagram, we're on everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You name it, we're gonna do it. Um,
Let's go.
and I always love to raid Kiefer's channel with everyone. So if everyone wants to stick around, go check on. We're gonna raid Kiefer's channel.
Fuck
Right
yeah.
right now, he's making a quick beat, from what I understand. So, anyways, thank you guys so much, so much, so much, and we're out. Okay, see y'all next
Peace,
week.
y'all. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. That was fun, man.
Dude, of course, man. Thank you for having me on, dog. That shit was sick.
Oh, word.